The 27 run Crash comic is one that I found in previews that I thought looked interesting because I'm always on the lookout for new kaiju comics, and this one also has a mech. Was previously released as a young adult graphic novel, and supposedly the 27 run Crash comic adaptation of it has been remastered. I don't really know much about the graphic novel version, so when I talk about this today, I'm just going to be looking at it from the single issue comic solicit. So I'm hoping that there is some big kaiju fun, and let's have a look and see. Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Beefy, and this is Saturday Morning Comics. So 27 Run Crash number 1 was released in February of 2025. It is written by Justin Zimmerman with art by Russell Brown. This is issue 1. It is a post-apocalyptic action comedy. I do like how on our opening page we got this cool picture of a mech with some damage going on, and we're in the now. So this is kind of setting up as to the direction that this issue is going to go. So shortly after that scene, we are presented with this man being lowered from this tube. And really what this is setting up is this is the story about a man who has amnesia. So he is woken up, he is put in the pilot seat of this giant mech, as you can see here. And he is awoken and talked to by this robot. So I won't get into all the conversation, but you know, he's like, who am I, what am I doing? And the robot is trying to talk him up and saying, you're the pilot of this mech. There's a bunch of stuff going on. So this is kind of where the humor is. You have this human who has no idea what's going on, and the robot here trying to tell him, oh hey, this is what's going on, and the robot's like, I need your help or else we're going to get creamed. And so you have the next page of this big, giant, flying kaiju monster getting ready to be attacked. So, I will start with one of the criticisms I have of the comic. I would say one of the criticisms I have is maybe the interactions like these. These interactions feel very long. I would say the robot is more annoying than C-3PO. There's nothing wrong with the writing. It's just there's a lot here. I think some of it maybe could have been shortened to still get the idea across that, hey, there's this guy that has no idea what's going on, but there's this robot trying to be positive and get him to step out and help. However, that is maybe my biggest criticism, and the reason I say that is it kind of slows the comic down. Like when I read it the first time, I would say it felt like there was more talking with the robot than there was action. However, when I went back and just flipped through the pages without doing the reading, I realized there's plenty of action going on. It's just these moments kind of slow it down. But getting back to the comic, I will have to say one of the things I like is the art. The human, our pilot here, is maybe a little bit rougher, but the artist does a great job with the monsters and the mech suit. So I really like this. And really the coloring is good as well. And here's a little shot kind of the humor in the comic. And this is a young adult comic. So, you know, I think it's very fitting what it is. So he's thinking about how you're the pilot. So pilot the thing, and he keeps looking at this. And you get the little descriptions of everything here. And he's like, are you kidding me? So it is very much, I think this is going to be a fun comic. So yeah, the art is really solid when it comes to the monsters. So, you know, this is a shot of the robot kind of talking to the story about what happened to Earth and a little bit of how it became the apocalyptic place that it is. So yeah, when there's action going on, when there's monsters, mechs, the art really stands out. And that's really one of the strong aspects of this comic. So we learned from the robot that to combat all these monsters that started showing up on Earth, it came down to mechs and everyone building these mech suits to fight them. So we get a little shot of people working together, get a shot of a different mech going up against this giant kaiju. But yeah, the art, like I said, the close-up of our pilot is a little rough in my opinion, but when we get to shots like these, I really dig the art. But yeah, here's another example of the robot talking to our pilot. And like I said, it really slows down the pace of the comic. It's not terrible, it's just, it slows it down when you have then like a page like this that has this great art, the mechs and the monsters, and it really makes this comic feel like there's more of this going on than this, and that isn't necessarily true. As the comic goes on, the pilot starts to remember more and understand more, and does start to pilot the ship and feel more confident in what is going on. And that kind of leads us to the last interaction with the robot. So we get to this comic spread in which, you know, the pilot has remembered kind of who he is. He's the best pilot of the best mech, and the robot, you know, he's been a positive aspect through this entire comic and goes through this entire talk, basically getting everything off his chest and how everything, you know, is wrong, the end of the world, you know, it's been hundreds of years, and everything that went wrong is the pilot's fault. So the robot has been harboring these feelings for a while and just let it all off of his chest. And so that's an example of the kind of humor that this has. So we find out that potentially this post-apocalyptic problem is all the fault of our main protagonist. But yeah, that was the first look at 21 Run Crash. Like I said, the first time reading it through, it felt very slow and that there was a lot of dialogue between the main character and the robot, which slowed it down. However, it really shined, in my opinion, with the art of the kaijus and the mechs. So the first time I read it, it was a little, you know, I was kind of like, I don't know. But then I flipped through it again, looked through the art, kind of, I knew what the story was, so I didn't have to read all the interactions with the robot. And I really enjoyed it a lot more because the art is really solid. We like kaijus and monsters and Godzilla. So if you're a fan of like Robotech, Godzilla, any type of kaiju stuff, I think this is going to appeal to you. So it's a 3-issue series. This is the first issue. I have ordered all 3 issues. I do really like the art. I thought it was pretty solid. Coloring was great. And it has a lot of potential to be fun. And then there's these cool pinups in the back as well. But yeah. And there's a clean shot of the cover. But yeah, 27 Run Crash from Battle Quest Comics. I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of the art. If you've read the old graphic novel that's out of print, let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Otherwise, I want to encourage you to go read a comic and have a great rest of your day.